Riddell-Carpenter.
Thank you, Mr Weston. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I would like to congratulate the member for Bromsgrove for securing this important and timely debate. Religious buildings are a vital part of our country's heritage and architectural history, but of course they play a central role in our communities. These spaces often serve as hubs, as we've heard this morning already, where volunteers come together to help the most vulnerable. Many of the churches in parishes across Suffolk Coastal host food banks and community larders, providing vital support to so many. These places of worship rely on the List of Places of Worship grant, and many of these parish churches receive no regular financial support and often rely on their local communities to dig deep. And my main message to the Minister today is that in rural constituencies where we have small parishes and small communities, there's a huge burden already on fundraising. And as we've just heard, the larger, more well-known cathedrals might attract fundraising more easily. And the 15th century tower, part of St Elthbert's Church in Falkenham, is a really good example of a rural church that provides so many for so few. Falkenham is a small village with a population of less than 200, and the church has an average attendance on a Sunday of just about 15 people, but it plays a much bigger role in our community. There is nowhere in the village other than this church for residents to meet, and so often it's used for coffee mornings, for concerts, for social gatherings, and it often has up to 100 people attend those events. The same is true in Sibton, where the parish has the only one public building that is the church, and that's the Church of St Peter's. The number of permanent homes is just 80, and the community rely on that church, which dates back to the 12th century as a public building. But with a village population that could probably fit in this room, it's hard to fundraise the money that's needed. And as you can imagine, that refund is vitally important. Similarly,
member for giving way. Shankill Parish Church in my constituency of Lurgan is iconic within the town. It's been part of the fabric of the town since 1725 and was rebuilt in 1863 following the Ulster Revival in 1859. Shankill is a listed building. They are refurbishing at the moment, and the fact that this grant has been stalled means that they are no longer able to continue with that project unless this grant is reinstated. That means the preaching of the gospel is impacted, and the great spiritual and practical support that they give to the community is in jeopardy. Now they will survive and they will continue, but this is a key part of that overall project.
I thank the honourable member for her intervention, and I hope the clarity that we'll receive shortly will provide reassurances. I'd like to draw attention to further churches in my constituency, just briefly two more. St Edmund's Church in Bromswell is a Grade 1 listed building that has been serving the community for around 1,000 years. And whilst the community has raised the funds necessary for repair and improvement works, the task is becoming all the harder and all the steeper if VAT is not refundable. In Blythburgh, the Holy Trinity Church, which serves a parish of just 300 people, is an uphill task to fundraise and to keep the Grade 1 listed church in good repair and open to all. So the grant scheme has allowed the necessary works to be carried out for so many of the churches that we've talked about today, and many more besides. And if we were to, and for places like Blythburgh that I've just mentioned, the changes and repair work they've done have made massive improvements, improving toilets, building a new kitchen, enabling them to extend the use of the building for wider community use. These are important improvements that will help to continue to serve rural and remote communities. And finally, the same is true for St Mary's Church in Walton, a beautiful Grade 2 listed church that's recently required works in excess of £35,000. So these are just a few of the many fantastic churches in Suffolk Coastal that are doing so much for so many and working hard to raise the funds that they need to ensure that they can survive and adapt to meet the needs of their community. So I, along with many other colleagues from across all sides of the House, urge the Government to continue the listed place of worship grant scheme beyond March of this year. Thank you.